not much orange. I just... No, sir! Animal, absolutely fantastic. Oh, fuck. As you can see with the pattern here, oh my God. How's it going, folks? Today we are going to be pairing our tokay geckos for the 2023 breeding season. On today's video, you guys are going to be able to see a couple of different tokay gecko mutations. You guys are going to be able to see the pairings that we have kept year-round just because they've been producing these sim eggs. And then finally, answering the question, after all of these years, what am I doing with this super red tokay gecko? Those questions and more will be answered today. With that being said, let's get over to the tokay gecko station and talk about these amazing dudes. Now, some of you boys already know our 2022 breeding season with the tokay geckos was not the best. Well, I think saying not the best would be a bit of an understatement. It was absolutely the worst year we ever had with tokay breeding. With that being said, I am pretty optimistic about the tokay geckos doing good this year. We've done really hard work in making sure everyone's cycled and doing good, and now it is time to see if the fruits of my labor that I've been doing all this time, tinkering and testing with the cycling stuff, will pay off and we can finally get tokay egg production. Tokay egg production like I've been wishing for ever since 2019. Now, first one on the list we have for today is going to be the Green Galaxy tokay gecko. Green Galaxy is a mutation that I'm not 100% sure on. I believe it is pretty much what you get from a het patternless mixed in with a reduced pattern. You get this really crazy speckling pattern, almost these grayish blobs forming in. Just a really cool gecko. Actually, with all the years I've had this gecko, I've never been able to produce eggs for him, which has been very disappointing, but now, today is going to be the year. This is my second largest gecko and probably my second feistiest, only countering to this dude right up here, but let's get him on out and see where is he? Alright, buddy, it's time to come into your new home. Let's get all these sticks out of the way. Well, hey there, buckaroo. Just take a look at this chungus, an absolutely unit of a gecko. This man has been growing up. Oh, this. Easy, compadre, easy. This guy has been doing absolutely fantastic. As you can see from when we first got him, growing like a weed. He has been absolutely amazing. As you can see with the pattern here, oh my God. See, as I was saying earlier, you get this nice little speckling pattern up here. Fired down, unfortunately, fires up this brilliant, like, turquoise green color. Absolutely amazing. I'll be switching up the females for this guy. Before, we had him in her enclosure right here, but instead we're actually going to be putting him over here into this girl's enclosure, switching up, making sure it's a new female, and then hopefully we can get some eggs for this guy. So this makes my job a lot easier. I'm actually just going to take him from the cork and put him right on in. No, no, young man, no! Oh! Easy, easy. See, I'm not putting any pressure on the animal whatsoever. We just want to restrain the big mouth part and get him to calm down. This is a unit of a gecko, folks. Absolutely massive. You can really feel the power of this animal, and getting a bite from jaws like this would definitely not be good. I mean, just look at the size. Oh. Just look at the size of this animal. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, fuck. Absolutely fantastic, boys and girls. Let's try to help him get some of this shed off now that he's right here in my hand. Really wanted him just to be on the cork flat and then he would be all good, but of course he wanted to jump off, and now... And now we are here in this type of situation, so let's go ahead and put him up into this tank so he can chill out with his new girlfriend. This pairing I actually want to talk about is a gecko that has already been paired. This is, of course, my most anticipated project, the Granite to Oddball pairing. Oddball being my unidentified tokay gecko mutation, one that I hope to prove out as my own name here. I would have said soon, but it's been almost 4 years now, and we're still on step 1, getting the first round of babies. These guys have been doing absolutely fantastic. The reason I actually didn't unpair them is last year we got absolutely no egg production from anybody except for Oddball to Granite. We got 1 clutch of eggs. So I kept them paired until we get around 2 to 3 more, or the second to third clutch, excuse me. And at that point I will separate them. Unfortunately, while doing some photography, and the whole reason why we have this amazing B-roll, the Granite actually knocked down the egg. So I had to be artificially incubating. They are still doing absolutely awesome. Still have about a few weeks to go before they hatch. That'll be another fantastic video video, we'll be able to see if tokay geckos are able to remember their young, if they're able to remember the babies. We'll get to see the natural instinct of the tokay gecko, understanding that this isn't just any tokay gecko baby, it is that gecko's baby. And you'll get to see the parental instincts really kick in motion. It's gonna be absolutely fantastic, and like I said, just a few more weeks away. For the granite stuff does not stop there. While this is gonna be an amazing pair, we also have this het granite that's gonna be down here in this planted bioactive enclosure. Once this guy has done inside a second or third clutch of eggs, we'll be removing him, having him a cool off period of a couple of weeks, and then moving him in to be paired with our het granite girl, where we're gonna get a visual granite to a heterozygous granite pairing, hopefully getting one step closer to proving out the granite mutation. But moving on into the next pairing, we get to talk about this reduced pattern tokay gecko. Now the reduced pattern is going to be an incomplete dominant mutation, which means that once this gecko is paired to a wild-caught or normal female tokay gecko, we have a 50% chance of either getting the reduced pattern genetic mutation or just a normal tokay gecko. We've hatched out reduced patterns for quite a while. This is actually the first genetic mutation I've ever gotten into with tokay geckos, and we've hatched quite a few. I actually have a little hold back in here we'll take a look at a little bit later. You'll be able to see from the big adult to a small little baby and how that mutation really changes and how we've been line breeding them, or just getting the genetic mutation a little bit better to show what we really want out of that gene itself. Okay, boys and girls, it's as easy as 1, 2, open the cage, check to see if there's a gecko, and move some stuff out of the way until you find it. And would you look at that? It is really just that easy. Let's take a look at this big unit. Obviously, he's had quite a few years to grow here, and he is absolutely massive these days. Such a big guy. Now, you guys might be asking yourself, Dakota, these enclosures do seem a little bit small to house these male tokay geckos in, and I want to rest assured that these are just temporary enclosures. While yes, they are a little bit small, this is the longest period of time they're going to be in an enclosure like this, which is again this recycling and repairing around the 6-week period. After this, they're going to be paired in these 29-gallon enclosures. At that point, when they're pairing and getting paired off, they're going to be in here for 3 more weeks to uncycle from that female and be paired to a new one. So these enclosures are really only used at the longest period of time, 6 to 8 weeks, and then for the most part, around 2 to 3 weeks, and then they're in these larger setups the rest of the year. But just take a look at this nugget. Absolutely fantastic. It's so funny that I have super calm tokay geckos that I can grab, and then I've got stuff like this that at any moment would try to bite me. And yet the urge persists. Oh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Sir, I'm sorry. Ah! Stop, please. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Alrighty, boys and girls, let's get this guy into his new home with his girlfriend. No, sir! Boys, that's what you get when you act like a buffoon and do some tomfoolery. You got your job a little bit more difficult. However, this is a perfect example of how you guys can see the intelligence of a tokay gecko. While any other gecko would probably just jump off and run straight into the void just trying to get away from me, the tokay gecko knows that this is its home, this is its safe place, and instinctually realized it could climb down my arm and jump into the tank itself, going back into its home. However, we have not let the tokay gecko know that this is not his home now, and he has a girlfriend waiting for him a couple feet over there, so these hands are already getting bloody, but they gotta get a little bloodier because we need this guy in with his girlfriend. Hey, young man, but it's time to come home into your new enclosure. Let's get going. You're okay, you're okay. I wonder if I could use, like, one of these sticks to try to... Oh, almost. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Fantastic, look at that, 100% job completed. Before we move on and pairing some more amazing tokay geckos, take a quick peep at the merch design, the Viking tokay. Any reptile on Earth that could mimic the ferocity that is the Vikings, it would definitely be the tokay gecko. They are fierce, they are mean, and they bite hard, just as I assumed Vikings bite hard back then. You guys want to join the Viking Brotherhood and get this awesome merch? We got the Vikings in the back, we got the logo in the back, I said the back twice. Peep it down over into the Teespring banner right there. They come in a bunch of different designs, a bunch of clothes, and we have some other designs as well. There's probably a thing right here for you. Alright, enough of me trying to make money. Let's get get back into pairing tokays. Next up on the list of tokay gecko pairings, we've got the star of the show, Bert the tokay gecko. Yes, I am going to be pairing Bert this year. I decided to pair Bert for a couple reasons. Number one, he is 100% patternless, so pairing him with any normal girl will give us a 50% chance of heterozygous of that farm, so 50% plus het patternless babies. Not only that, I really love his temperament. He's a very calm adult, and I really want to pass that on through generations and hold that back and see if I can do some generational taming of captive bred animals. Just taking two animals that are very calm, pairing them together and working with their babies and see if we can generationally make a calm tokay gecko. 90% probability that's not gonna work, and Bert's just one of those weird offshoot geckos, but if you don't try, then you don't win. And oh boy, do we like winning here. So let's pull out Bert right now. Unfortunately, he's not gonna bite because he's a calm and friendly animal that I have tamed myself. Alrighty here, Bert, let's show everyone what a nice, calm animal you are. Come. Whoa, 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 whoa. Here we have Bert the tokay gecko, absolutely amazing. As you can see, not as big as the other ones, as the other males that we saw earlier. However, that's just because Bert is a little bit younger. He's only around a year and a half old. So he'll get bigger as he grows and gets larger. However, he is ready to breed, and we do want to get some babies from him. So we are gonna be pairing him to... Down, son, calm down. We're gonna be pairing Bert over with another female that we have over there, and hopefully getting some Bert babies here in the next season. Now that Bert's off to his new home, we have an empty 12x12x18 with UVB that we are going to be giving to one of my little reduced patterns that I held back at the end of the 2021 season. So a little bit of a small nugget. I've been maintenance feeding him, not really power feeding him to breeding, so I'm not 100% sure where I want him in a project yet. However, for right now, I do want to hold on to him for a little bit longer. He's absolutely incredible in his pattern being there are 0 orange spots. Unfortunately, fire down right now, but all you're gonna get out of this reduced patterning is pretty much the pinnacle of what you want out of this gene, which is just a green pattern or a green base with that white barring as just a pattern. No orange spots to be found, and still an unhappy gecko. So let's put him up in this enclosure. We can bask under some UVB and grow a little bit bigger to potentially where I'll breed him next season. Grr, I'm gonna bite you. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, folks, we saved the best for last when it came to our tokay gecko pairings. There are 3 girls that are not paired right now, and that is going to be number 1, our het platinum, number 2, our super red, and then number 3, this... I don't want to spoil it, but I'll just say this strange tokay gecko girl that I have an idea what it is, but we'll see what happens. Couple reasons why these girls have not been paired yet. Number 1 with the het platinum, I'm actually waiting until spring where Josh is going to help me out with one of his male platinum tokays. We'll be able to make visual platinums right off the bat with that pairing, which will be absolutely awesome. Number 2 with that girl, I have a special male. He's actually, let me pull him out. No, sir, come here. Ouch. And that's going to be this guy right here. I call him Pumpkinhead because as you can see, tons of spots on the head, but as you go further down, it really gets muted out in the body. So you see tons of orange in that head, really packed on with color, but when it comes to the body, not much orange. I just, got right on the scar, man. Easy, easy, easy. You don't need to bite. You're good. You don't need to bite. See, it's just a little bit of weird gecko, and I really like pairing weird geckos to weird geckos just because of the fact that if I'm gonna hold something back, I might as well make it my money's worth, hence the granite to oddball pairing, and hence this weird funky dude to my really light colored tokay gecko. We're gonna hold back these babies because I wanna see if this is reproducible and if what she has is reproducible, and we can make both of them at the same time. Well, we make both of them at the same time. There's no joke there. But really awesome dude. Still has a little bit more growing to do. We've been power feeding him with some crickets and super worms, trying to get him to make weight. I believe he'll be able to do it by probably late spring. He should be big enough as long as he keeps packing on these bugs. But for now, awesome little guy, and he'll be paired to that girl at that time. Then very last, but certainly not very least, we have the super red tokay gecko. Now, when it comes to the super red, I've been talking about it for a long time. We had this secret project that was gonna be absolutely amazing. However, trying to find the proper way to phrase this. Now, I found some stuff out about the super red tokay that Nothing's definitive, so I'm not gonna come out and say stuff and try to stir drama or anything like that, but I will just say, personally for me, it makes me a lot more cautious to pair my super red tokay, so I believe I don't know yet, don't know 100% sure yet. Number one, I do want her to get a little bit bigger and a little bit older before I attempt pairing. Number two, I might just keep this pairing in-house and pair her to a reduced, just because codom on codom, we can make a world's first right out of that, and we can have a nice healthy mix of genetic variation with the babies. But that might be the case for this year for her first pairing, and then next year we can attempt that project, just because I'm just a little hesitant to pair her. It's a very expensive gecko, and I don't want anything to go wrong, I guess is what I'm saying at the end of the day. We did pair a bunch of geckos. There are still plenty more geckos to pair, so there will be a tokay gecko pairing season part 2, in which we do the extremely rare and expensive geckos next time. And alrighty, boys and girls, now that I've been bit multiple times on the same finger, old Dakota's gotta go treat this wound before it comes infected. As always, let me know what your favorite pairing is, and if you enjoy me as a creator, enjoy the content I make, consider joining the YouTube membership and becoming part of the BIMPSON gang. You'll find all that information right there, right next to that subscribe button, if you don't want to join on these press the subscribe button. Other than that, and as always, folks, thank you so much for taking the time in your day to follow us over here at DBCB Exotics. I will see you next time, but until then, goodbye. You know, one of these times I'm gonna say, as always, I'll see you again, but it'll be my last video, and I will never see you again. I just want that daunting thought to go in your head. I'll see you guys next time.